Hey guys, it's George. So, took a picture of my dog Gizmo today when I got home, and one of the shots I took I really liked, so I figured I'd edit it on camera and show you guys kind of how I edit this picture. Should be a medium to beginner level edit, I guess. Not sure how far I'll take it, but well, let's see. I opened it up and I imported it into my Lightroom catalog, and this is the picture. Not really gonna do much in Lightroom because I want to clean up all of these. I should have like combed him out, I guess, before I took the picture, but I was really focusing on his eyes. I got pretty good focus on his eyes, but he's got a lot of hairs and, excuse me, dust, just kind of laying lazy on his bed. So probably gonna do most of it in Photoshop, but let's see, I might tweak the white balance. I shot it inside, so daylight's not gonna work. Auto gets a little. Auto might work if I bump up the saturation, but let me see what S shot is. See, S shot's a little. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go with auto. I'm gonna bump up the saturation just a little bit. I don't know. No. 0, 0. I think I'm gonna go with S shot. Okay, then I'm gonna enable the lens profile, just to fix any vignetting at the edges or anything. And this part is probably blowing out a little bit, I guess. Maybe not. Yeah, so it is a little bit. Maybe I can bring some recovery back into it. I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It did bring some back, but I don't know if I like what it did to the rest of the image. Let's see. I guess I don't mind it. And then from this point, I think I'm going to just bring it into Photoshop and do the rest of it there. All right, so I'm going to edit it in Photoshop. Smart object. Okay, so it's opening up in Photoshop. All right, here it is in Photoshop. Let me minimize my Lightroom. All right, so now what do we want to do in here? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is, I guess, healing brush. I'm going to heal. And basically with my healing brush, I'm just going to go through and kind of clean up any of these little dust spots that he had. Just, you know, kind of. And one thing I like to do with the healing brush is my paint stroke. See my stroke, when I apply it, I always go in his hair gray. If it was texture or grain or whatever, you go in the direction of that texture. So with the dog, since it's hair, you kind of go in the direction of the hair follicles. So like to get rid of that piece, I'm just gonna go a bunch of different in that hair follicle. Just because it seems to work better. I mean, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to doing it, but I started doing it that way and it seemed to work, and that's kind of how I do it now. So that's just my style, I guess. I don't know if there's any real science behind what I just said, but it seems to work for me. I mean, like I said, I just kind of go pretty fast. Healing brush is a pretty good tool, so it seems to do a really good job. It's not like, it's kind of the first step I do, you know, like with portraits I always clean up with the healing brush, and then I come back and really retouch with like adding some makeup or softening the skin and stuff. With with dogs, obviously it's a little different because they have hair or fur, I guess. See, he's got this big long hair, which is going to be the interesting one. See if we can figure out how to work it here. See, and then this is the power of the healing brush. I mean, it literally just got rid of it without much problems at all. Let's see. Yeah, see, I mean, that cleaned up his face. Let's see it before and after. Yeah, see, pretty simple, but makes a big difference. You know, it kind of just cleaned up his face a lot. Yeah, it made a big difference. It made a huge difference, actually. Okay, so next thing I want to do is... Actually, I think I'm going to do a little bit of sharpening at this point, because I don't want to do overall color until after I finish kind of the sharpening. So what I did is I hit Command Option Shift E. Here, let me redo that again. Command Option Shift E, and what that does is it takes these two layers, it takes any layers below, flattens them, and puts it in a new layer. Alright, so it creates a new layer that's basically an exact duplicate of what I've done so far. And that's going to be my high pass sharpen. And basically, if you go to filter, other, high pass, and 3 seams. I think for fur, I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go 4. And then I'm going to hit overlay. Let's see how we did. Yeah, it sharpened it quite a bit. I mean, I shot this with my 51.8, and I was shooting at 1.8, so the depth of field really focused in on his eye. Like right there, I mean, and that's it. That's the only thing in focus. This eye's out of focus. Everything is pretty much out of focus. It's the depth of field is so small on that thing at 1.8, but I was really trying to focus in on his eyes, and I think it worked. This high pass, second side. I'm gonna bring this one down. This one I'm gonna leave at 100%. 100%. And this one I'm bringing down to 50%. 50%. Next thing I'm going to do a gradient map. And I'm going to convert this to black and white, but I'm going to put this gradient map on luminosity. What luminosity does is it kind of increases contrast a bit, but it does it in its own special, interesting way, which I really like. It just suits me. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to my black and white adjustment. And this one allows me to go in and actually tweak individual colors. I can do an auto tweak or just kind of tweak the individual colors in the actual file within a black and white. So like for example, this one I can brighten or darken just the reds in the picture. This one obviously just the yellows, the greens, and so on and so forth. Obviously there's not too many blues and stuff in there, but the yellows I kind of wanted to bring up a little, brighten that up, and the reds, maybe it was the other way around. It's going to be a tough black and white conversion because I want this to be, I need some more whites in here. So, yeah, I'm losing a little detail in here. Alright, so that's going to be my black and white. I'm going to have to add some contrast, I think. I'm going to make a curve, add a little brights, and then contrast it a little bit. Basically what I'm doing is I'm raising the highlights and then lowering the darks. Obviously not that much, but... And so that'll give me that contrast that I'm looking for. And then I can work on exposure maybe. Add a little bit of exposure. No, I don't want to do that. Maybe some gamma. Just a little bit. Not too much. I don't usually play with the gamma that much. I don't like what it does. But in this case, I kind of like that, like really thick change. So let's see how we're doing here. Okay, and then next thing I want to do is I want to bring out his eyes a little bit because I really want to focus in on his eyes. And they got a little dark, but that's an easy little fix. Basically, I'm going to make a curve at the very top. and this is a brighten curve, and contrast a little bit, and I fill that curve in with black as a mask, and anything that's black in your mask doesn't actually show. So like right now that curve is actually not doing anything, but if I were to but I'm going to take my brush, any brush, paint with white in where I want, in the mask where I want this to actually show up. So I want it to show up in his eyes. What I'm doing is brightening his eyes. And let's see if that did anything. Yeah, see, it brightened his eyes quite a bit. Did I go too far? I don't think so. I'm going to add a little highlight. I'm going to accentuate that highlight in his eye by just creating like a little shape and filling it with white, blurring it just a little bit. No, not that much. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Knocking that back a little bit. I'm not even sure this is going to work. I don't like what it's doing. It's weird. Yeah, forget that. Just gonna leave the originals. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make a layer with a white overlay highlights. Basically, if I make a layer and put it on overlay and paint white, it should actually make that pop quite a bit. So all of these little highlights in here should pop now. And same with this one. Is that working? Yeah, I think it works. See, so you can see how it really just accentuated those highlights. And you can use that for a bunch of things. You can accentuate these highlights a little bit of these highlights. This is where you can just like really play around with what you want to lighten and what you want to darken, you know? So that's looking pretty good. Next thing I want to do is, I'm not sure if I want to add a vignette or not, so I'm going to try it. And I can't spell that word. I think that's spelled right. The way I do vignettes lately is with this ellipse tool, do an ellipse from corner to corner, and then I'll reveal my quick mask with the, I think it's this tool. No, this tool. Tab? No. Forget it. It's this tool. I'm going to reveal my mask that I just made, and then I'm going to filter blur it. Gaussian blur all the way. So all that's red will be deselected, and then if I go back to this, hit Command-Shift-I to inverse my selection, fill that with black, and I have my vignette. Of course, it's too powerful, so I'm going to bring it down to about, I don't know, maybe 20%. Let's see. Do we like that, or do I not like it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? I don't know. What if it's the other way around? No, I definitely don't like a light vignette. Never have, actually. Let's see. Do I want a vignette? Do I not want a vignette? Yeah, I'm going to leave a little bit. I'm probably going to leave it around there. Just a little bit of a vignette. You know what? No, because it gets rid of all my whites on the side. No, I'm going to leave it without a vignette. Not going to get a vignette. Sorry. What I am going to do is I'm going to add some noise to this. I lost this over here. I wonder if I can bring some of that back. Let me see if there's some information there. Yeah, there's some information there that I need to bring back. So I'm going to paint a curve. It's a darkened curve. Oof, and it's not really going to work. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a layer on overlay, but I'm going to paint in black instead of white with my brush. And let's see if this works. And it's not working. Maybe if I put it underneath some of these layers that are... It is affecting it, but I don't know if it's affecting it enough. Well, it brought a little bit back, but no, not enough. I'm just gonna let it blow out, I guess. I don't really like this edge. It's weird. It's got this like... Oh, that's because it's a little out of focus, I guess. Yeah, see, I got a strange little edge here. Huh. Not sure what that's from, but oh well. It's probably just because it's out of focus. But that's probably going to be my image. Let's see, how much time am I at? 16 minutes? That's not too bad. I'm going to add a little noise, and that's probably going to be it. So let's add some noise. New layer. Noise. Noise. Then you go to, I usually hit Shift Delete to bring up my fill dialog box. I want to fill it with 50% gray. I want to put it on overlay. 50% gray. Why didn't it go to overlay? That's weird. On overlay, just basically disappears, doesn't do anything. But as soon as I do a filter noise, add noise, the noise will show up. And I think I want to add quite a bit of noise, so 25%. Let's see what that did. Hello. It did add some noise, but not as much as I thought it would have. It's interesting. I guess the image was already noisy, so shot it at ISO 3200 and it was kind of dark. Let me see. Actually, let's see what the file information is actually. Yeah, I shot it at 1/30th of a second, which is actually a little slow for a 50mm lens. I probably shouldn't go below 1/80th, but I didn't have too much light. I was shooting at ISO 3200 at 1.8, so I guess I could have bumped it up a little bit in the ISO, but I thought I could hold it, and I feel like I held it pretty well. I mean, I feel like the eye is sharp enough, so I think that's going to be my edit, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this edit, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much.